and have blue as the baseline category. Then for every observation that falls in that category, we will then give it a 1 or a 0. And then move on to the next category. If it is then in, we've done blue, so now we're doing brown. If someone has brown eyes, they will get a 0 or a 1. And for the last one, you can imagine individuals who are green-eyed, they would have zeros in all of the categories, right? Because if we introduce in 3 variables, we'll have perfect multicollinearity, which is going to be a big problem for just calculating our regression. We will not be able to do that, right? Because they are going to be perfect linear combinations of each other. So that's why we have 2 variables. And if they have blue eyes, it's 0, 1 on the first. If it's brown eyes, then it would be 0, 1 on the second. And if they have green eyes, they would have 0 on both, right? And like I said, if we were to construct that with 3 dummy variables, you can see here, again, that we'd have a perfect linear combination. So we cannot do that. That's why we need just 2 dummy variables. Now, though it's my preference to essentially have 2 dummy variables in this case with 1, 0 for blue in the first and 1, 0 for brown in the second and 0, zeros are green, you could technically also do negative values for green where it's negative and negative in both of them. But you need to remember that that's the way that you set it up so that you can make the correct interpretation of that dummy variable. So in order to avoid any confusion, I typically go with the first coding strategy, and I think like probably 99% of the research or projects that you engage in are going to be doing it this way. So I think this is more typical, but this is just to say that again, we are creating binary dummy variables for multiple categories and having multiple estimated coefficients. So there's nothing different per se in the estimation procedure between these 2 different categorization schemes, but the interpretation that you have of them is going to be much different. So you need to be very cautious and purposeful in the way that you construct your categorical variables.